Hello, welcome in everyone to another Joint Movement DPT's vlog.
It's a Sunday and I feel alright for the first time. It's a Sunday and I feel alright for the first time.
Hello, welcome in everyone. It's another Sunday and we are feeling all right. Today we are installing new LED dome lights. We're getting rid of our old lights that are way too hot, way too ugly, and drain our batteries when we're not hooked up.
Yeah.
We want to bring you along for that project today, and let's get started.
First thing you need to do is disconnect your RV from shore power and disconnect your batteries so you don't get electrocuted.
So the dome lights that we currently have are the original 1994 lights, and so they're not LED. They suck a lot of energy out of our batteries, and so we found that out quickly when we first bought the RV. We could not run off our house batteries very long. We also realized that they got really hot, and so those old-fashioned bulbs would emit heat. And as you can see with this one, which has been our most troubled light, it actually gave off so much heat that it started melting the plastic cover around the light, which is never good and just a huge fire hazard. And so we've been wanting to get these new LED lights which don't heat up when they're running and they use very little energy. We did install, where our old lamps used to be, some new LED Edison bulb lamps, and they have been great. We use those whenever we're off grid. They don't drain our battery and they look pretty. So to change these out, you pop off the covers and then you'll see up there that there's some screws that are just holding that light in. So we're going to take those out now.
It worked on my first try.
So we went ahead and took down our light. What you should be seeing, or at least in our RV, is two common wires. You're going to have a black wire and a white wire. Your black wire should be your hot wire, and then your white wire is just kind of a neutral. And so when we first took down our old light fixture here, we were actually seeing three wires. And but don't let that fool you. You're still going to have a black, and then the other two wires that are going to separate bulbs were actually spliced into the one white wire, and so there still is two wires. Then with our new LED lights, you're going to have two wires coming out the back, one for your hot wire and one for that neutral wire, and it should be pretty easy to set up. And so that's the double dome lights, and then our single dome light has the same thing, and they just happen to have two wires, one red, one black. And so a lot of them are going to come with directions, hopefully. And once those are hooked up, you should have some light once you've hooked up all your power. So your light's going to come with some little electrical caps, and that's what you put your two wires into, an electric tape in, and that's how you make the connection. Now that we have our wires hooked up, we're going to go ahead and mount it up to the ceiling. And so you need to take off your covers here, your light covers, which you just pinch and they pull off. And that's how you access the screw holes. Now, these lights should come with hardware, which ours did. And so you have 4 little screws for our double dome light here. Now, it has 4 screw holes. But you're not going to need all those. Just hit the 4 corners and it'll be fine. So what you doing, Megan?
Well, we have to do a couple paint touch-ups because the new lights don't exactly fit the old lights. Up under our countertops where we painted before we took off, some of the old nasty wood, fake wood grain is coming through. So we have to touch that up.
Simple as eating pie. Old light, new light. Old light, new light. Old light, new light.
I'm a human paint mixer. Woo. Moment of truth. If you have any good paint to use. You.
Okay, so you might be wondering what I'm doing. Well, as I was putting up our lights, it kind of reminded me that our Fan-tastic fan that looks brand new. We didn't install this, it was already here when we bought the RV. It just hasn't been working, and so the fan's never turned on. So I thought I'd, while I'm here and have the tools, just kind of look at it, see if we have any wires loose, and see if I can troubleshoot a solution. So, first time I've ever taken apart one of these. And there's a lot of bugs. It's kind of gross.
And what are you standing on?
Our bed. So while I'm doing this kind of little fan intermission trying to figure out, troubleshoot what's going on, one of the things that I did was go ahead and wire up one of the new LED lights to the power source just to see if we have power going to the fan. So if we do, it should light up. If we're not having power go to it, it won't light up. Okay. That tells me that at least we have power going to the fan, 12 volt power. Now I got to figure out, okay, we have a fuse out. The fuse looked okay, but maybe we need to replace it anyway, or there must be some disconnection on the other end in the fan part of this. Okay, good news is our fan is now working. And so I took our multimeter and just kind of tested some of the wires. As you saw, we were getting power to it, so there had to be different components. So using the multimeter, I checked to see if our fuse was good, if we could bypass it, we were reading 12 volts. If our switch was good, we were reading 12 volts. And then there's like a little shut off, so when this vent hatch is closed, the fan turns off automatically. Bypass that, it was looking good. And then I was checking the main motor if we were getting power to it. And as we were checking that, all of a sudden the fan pin started spinning, and so I must have moved some wire. I think it's actually with the little shut-off, the part where the vent fan closes. It disconnects the wire, so it's not running with the vent closed. I think I messed with that wire a little bit and bent it up, and I guess it was just disconnected and just was shorting out. And so, as of right now, it's working. I'm going to try to put the fan back together, and our Fan-tastic fan might return being fantastic and not craptastic.
Okay, so we've put up a couple of our double lights, and now we have also bought 5 single lights because we have quite a few of them throughout the RV. And really in this space during the night is where it gets really dark. There's just no pendant light right around by the kitchen. So we're going to replace the 2 single lights that are above the kitchen table, and I'm just taking them down. One of the screws isn't like the other. There we go. Doesn't really have any slack in the wire. Okay, this is what our new single lights look like. Nice and white and pretty. The red wire is going to go to our black wire up here. These are both white. That's weird. The white wire that goes to the center of our light to hook up to the black hot wire. And then the other wire splits and is connected to both of the LED light panels. And we're connecting that one to the white neutral wire. Did it!
Okay, well, another project cropped up. The previous owners had a little inverter here. I don't actually know if this inverter was original with the RV or if the previous owner had put it in, but it hadn't been working. It was attached up under our cabinet here. And so anyway, as we were changing out this light over here, I noticed that there was a few extra wires, and so I was wondering, well, what are those going to? And I got a little nosy, and I had originally just was gonna cut this out and get rid of it, get it out of our way. But as I got to looking, I realized that he wired into our 12 volt light over here. And that's exactly what an inverter does. 12 volt power to it, and then it produces AC power instead of DC power, so you can plug up. But then we also had another inverter left with us down in one of the storage bins. It's just it's not a pure sine, it's a modified inverter, so they say don't charge your precious electronic devices with it, which that's understandable just because of the wave that is produced. But we would really like to have an inverter just so we could plug up something. And so what we're going to do now, or what I am doing now, is I'm going to go ahead and rewire this one into our wires and then mount it on the back side of this cabinet over here. So if we're ever off grid and we want to run off our batteries, we can plug in. The wires that are going to hook into the inverter that we're putting up there, it's just a small inverter, are running through here, which I'll make that look prettier here in a second. But it's inside the cabinet, and then it's going to go down into the electrical trough here in this cabinet. It's ran all the way over to our light, and so we're going to run off the 12 volt that's running to our light. And so that's why we have 4 wires here. The red and black are running to our inverter. These run to our battery. This is the 12 volt that runs to our battery. The white and yellow, the red and black runs to our inverter. And then we'll hook in our light also so we can have light over here. So you put them together and then it should run both things. We turned on the power and everything's working. So right now we're running off our DC, which is our battery power. Our new LED light over our coffee nook here works great. And also our inverter that I'm going to mount to the side of the cabinet over here, it also works. And so this will allow us to run off our batteries and be able to plug in two of your normal wall outlets, and there's even 2 USB outlets here. And so that will be such a great help for when we travel.
Wowzers! It is so bright in here. The sun is setting and it was pretty dark in the RV. And it's the perfect time to try out all of our new lights. It ended up taking all day, but if you do this, I doubt it would take you all day. We ended up fixing a fan and installing an inverter. So it was a bigger project than we expected, but we had all of the right equipment out, so it worked out. But now it's like a burst of light in here, and it's awesome, and we love it. So we definitely recommend an upgrade in the lights. They're not hot. They're not taking up a lot of battery power. We can't wait to keep using them.
Yeah, the lights are really great. We're really excited that we have them in. It was actually a pretty cheap project. If you have an RV that doesn't have LED lights, I would definitely look into installing these. We'll put our links, our Amazon links down below. So click on those and it'll take you directly to the ones that we used. And I'm really excited about it. They're going to be great.
Awesome. So that's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it and we hope that it was helpful. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to our channel. And until next time,
See ya.